Navajo Shmavajo. Well, you know, I did. I have a radio program called The Radio Rabbi every Sunday morning, and I do a program every year on Elvis's yard site and talk about Elvis Presley's Jewish roots.
Come on.
Verifiable, absolutely verifiable, halakhically Jewish up back through his great-grandmother. And there was a film made in Canada about this, and I talked to the filmmakers one year, and their film is called Elvis Schmovis.
All right, well, before we digress too much,
I digress.
Let me just bring it back here.
Very relevant, but he wasn't Italian.
No. But no, he wasn't Italian. So, Rabbi, let me just ask. This is very interesting, and having been, you know, raised in the States, and we studied Columbus, you know, probably every year from second grade through high school. Nobody ever talks about this. So, if there's all this evidence, to me, you just convinced me when you said that his navigational records were written in Hebrew. Why else could someone give an explanation as to why would he be writing in Hebrew, not an easy language to learn, speak, or write in, for sure? Exactly. What would be the explanation for that other than he was raised Jewish?
Absolutely. Well, wait a second. I just want to give one point on this. There were many educated Europeans who studied Hebrew as well as Greek, ancient Greek, Latin, and so forth. So it's not totally unreasonable that, and he was very connected to the Bible. This we know. So, you know, we could find other reasons, but I'm willing to give him the credit. What do you think, Rabbi?
Let me say that yes, indeed, Hebrew was the language of scholars and the language, of course, the original language of the Bible. But I would have to say that in his personal correspondence, which he peppered with Hebrew phrases, was a way of identifying one Jew to another at a time when it was very dangerous to do so.
So that's, Rabbi, just to interrupt you, that was kind of like a code that they used.
Like a code, yes,
so
indeed.
They could be familiar without divulging their Jewish background.
Yes, when you put the two of them together, put the writing in Hebrew in the manifest together with these identifiable phrases, and these were phrases when this is personal correspondence when he was trying to get money for his expeditions. So this is how he was identifying himself to other moneyed Jews. So that is important as well. These were families of means, and he was trying to gather funds, and so he was identifying himself as a Jew to potential donors. And but just as with so many of our Jewish ancestors, we have evidence of their humanitarian traits. We have evidence of their character traits that weren't so good, and the fact that Columbus may have wanted to prevent a genocide of the Jewish people, which he definitely helped in that regard because of his expeditions, is something we Jews could possibly be very proud of and applaud.
And Rabbi, what about I understand what you just said, that he obviously was instrumental in saving many Jewish lives, but is that a testament to actually that he was Jewish? Because, you know, anyone watching this has seen Schindler's List, who wasn't Jewish, who ultimately had this, you know, cause that he found as a humanitarian. So, you know, what supports that he just maybe wasn't a good person?
Well, the fact that what happened when he got to the New World, all of the things that many Native Americans do not want to celebrate or celebrate Columbus's expeditions or colonization because of what was done to Native Americans. But there's also evidence that Columbus was not the horrible person that many people say he was, that these were other people on the expeditions as well. And who knows? The fact of the matter is we need to keep looking, we need to keep studying, and I believe the fact that Columbus was identifying himself as a Jew to other Jews of means in order to save Jews is indication of his Jewish background.
Well, I think that it was an amazing topic, and I think it's something that we should all be open-minded to. And this is just another great example of so many hidden Jewish stories, traditions that we are going to uncover for you here every week. So, Rabbi or Carl, do you have any last thoughts before we close out this episode?
I think we're all going to look at Columbus Day a little bit differently now. And you know, I grew up with they call it in New York Christmas envy. I mean, my Aunt Dora used to take me to sit on Santa's knee at Macy's on 34th Street, and Santa would say, "So, little boy, what would you like for Hanukkah?" And I'm thinking, you know, the same thing. We can adopt Columbus Day as part of our own tradition. I think it's you know, if you look at the ebb and flow of history in general, and Jewish history certainly, and the mass movement of people across continents over centuries and over time, I mean, this is part of that story. If it wasn't for all of these horrible events that took place in Spain, we wouldn't have all of these amazing traditions. And you know, my family on my mother's side, as I say, went to Greece, to Salonika, what was then the Ottoman Empire, the Muslim Ottoman Empire, where the Jews were welcomed in. Now today you'd say, how could this be? The Sultan in Istanbul said, please come to the Ottoman Empire. You'll have, you know, freedom. You'll be able to do business. You can keep your traditions. Nobody will force you to become Muslim. And Salonika became, in the 15, 16, 1700s, I think one of the probably the largest Jewish city in the world. It was more than half of Salonika was Jewish. And my family, to this day, I have cousins whom I'm in touch with who are in Salonika. So I'm just blown away by finding a connection here to Columbus, one way or the other.
All right, well, we're going to close out this week's episode. We want to thank you again for joining us. This week's Secret Jewish episode was Columbus a secret Jew? You've heard the information. It's now up to you to make a decision which side you want to be on. Or maybe you need some more information. You could do that research on your own. This was another episode of Secret Jews, Uncovering Hidden Jewish History. On behalf of myself, Dr. Randi Ross, and your co-hosts, producer Carl Perkal and Rabbi Barbara Aiello, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here in the next episode.
See you soon.
Bye now.